Welcome to Smart Finance 360, the podcast where money matters meet innovative thinking. Every week, we dive deep into the world of finance, exploring trends, debunking myths, and bringing you the latest insights from industry experts. Whether you're a seasoned investor, a financial newbie, or somewhere in between, this is your go-to source for becoming financially savvy. All right, welcome to another podcast of Smart Finance 360, your mortgage and more. I'm really excited here because I have real estate agent, councilwoman, very successful woman, Annette Judd here, and I really want to pick her brains on what she's done to be able to be, because she already was really successful with real estate, but I love that you decided to lean into your city, lean into your community more than any real estate agent I've ever seen, and you went out and actually got not only just boots on the ground, you are a city councilwoman. So tell me real quick about your journey on both why you want to become a real estate agent and then also looping in being a councilwoman.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on, Kyle. This is awesome. On becoming a real estate agent, previously I was an air traffic controller, which I learned through the military, but which it is a great job. It's a fun job. It's challenging, all of those things.
That's stressful.
Yeah, kind of stressful. So is real estate, but
it's true.
But I wanted to be rewarded monetarily for my work. And when I walked in the door there, I got paid day one the same as somebody else that worked there for 20 years. And that's great if you're the day one person. But when you're doing a better job than everyone else, it's really not satisfying.
Yeah.
And I'd always loved the housing stuff. And I had bought a couple of houses and accidentally fell into it. Not accidentally, but I did.
It's crazy how that does
just
happen.
Connections.
It kind of happens.
And it's kind of as a consistent pattern where falling back in it was my social that kind of led me to the person that encouraged me to get my real estate license. So I did that, took a break from school, finished my degree, and then quit air traffic to do real estate full time.
Which you've done really well. You focus a lot. You're a veteran, so you focus a lot on veteran clients as well. You've had a lot of success. Everyone out here, at least in Northern Utah, knows if you're a veteran, Annette Judd, really your name pops up. People know that because you've just done such a good job throughout the years or the past decade with veterans. So kudos to that.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to give a little bit to you because of what was about a year into networking and stuff that I met you. And so I feel like we both have grown up in our respective industries together. And so it's been fun to watch our success as well. So we're doing something right.
It is. I mean, it's fun to see. I mean, you always match the intensity of high-level work and care, too. That's one thing that I was drawn to you is that you care deeply. It's not just about...
Sometimes too much.
Yes. You get taken advantage of because of that, by the way. But,
right.
You know, you're the sweetest woman ever, and that's why I like to use you for my own personal real estate deals for investment properties and different stuff like that because you're great. Tell me a little bit about... You know, it's kind of it's a daunting task for me, I would think, to be a full-time real estate agent. You're a full-time mom, grandma. You do a lot of things outside of just real estate. Now you're a full-time councilwoman. Tell me kind of what dawned on you to say, you know what, I want to do this.
Well, my husband works for a different city than we live in, and he's directly affected by his council members. And, you know, in the course of our relationship, he was like, I think you'd be good at city council. And I didn't know a dang thing about it. And I was like, what's that? And so just asking good questions and finding out what the commitment was and what's involved. And then once I said yes, I just went all in and that worked.
Yeah.
But it's being curious, wanting to make my city better. And also I want to feel connected. That's really big to me is I'm not from Utah originally. But I think I lived here almost as long as I lived where I grew up. So
yeah,
I'm kind of in this cool situation. But
you're from both now.
Yeah, well, it works well. But I think I genuinely care about where I live, and I want where I live to be the best place ever. And then sometimes that rolls over into my clients when we're looking, and my enthusiasm for where I live, boils over a little bit.
The energy's there; they can see it.
Yeah. So it's just truly being interested in wanting to be a part of it and make it better.
So tell me a little bit about the life that you juggle between, you know, being a councilwoman and also with real estate. What's kind of your day-to-day through councilwoman? You know, what's
council stuff isn't every day, but it is paying attention to what's going on in the city, being open and available. So not a lot different than real estate because, when numbers out there and your name and your number are out there so people know if something's going on or they're not happy to give you a call. I can say in West Point specifically, it's not really like that too much where people are like, oh, I don't want to hear people complaining. But most of the time, they're just like me. They just want it to be better. They want to know why.
Yeah, they want to know
why. That's perfect for me because it is all about communication and just sharing information. And when they understand the whole process and the kind of the information we have to take into account when we're making decisions, I think that they would make the same decision as me if they were in my shoes.
Yeah, I mean, you also learn about a lot of the policies in place that are being put in front of these cities. What are some policies that you like or dislike that you've seen that can make it maybe difficult for your other job or for other things? Like you said, your husband mentioned that, it's direct impact on his job.
Yep.
What have you seen as far as impact goes both ways?
Well, a lot of our state legislators are in development and they like to make sure that cities can't make too confining of rules that hurt them and what they want in their business. Yeah. So they push a lot of things down onto cities, and one of them is what we call the missing middle, which is to create more affordable housing. And it's nearly impossible with building standards and the cost of land and labor and everything that we have right now to truly create something that's cost effective. But doing things like allowing people to have ADUs, which is an accessory dwelling unit so a mother-in-law rental in their home. But there's just have enough parking and you don't have to have a separate meter, but you do need to live in your home to make that happen. But one thing that comes up for us a lot is apartments. And so as a city, what we've done is to thoughtfully consider where's the best places in the city because we still have a lot of places that have development. We're at a good point right there where we have some roads coming through like West Davis Highway and 193. And so we've got this big plot of land where, okay, let's do this here. And so we're hammering those things out right now and giving a lot of thought to it. But we feel like that might be a good place because, they're coming from work. They just go down the busy road to get there and then they're home and maybe we'll have some shopping down the road.
I feel like that is a huge advantage for you, especially in the real estate sector, to know what's happening. For example, like let's say, like you said, you mentioned if someone's buying a house and there's a big field there, you're going to likely know what's going to be in that field in that area for these clients. Some maybe clients don't care if there's going to be apartments back there. Maybe some don't want that. But the fact that you kind of are boots on the ground, what's going on in your community, I find that to be a huge pro for a real estate agent, to be honest.
I love knowing it. I do think it's an advantage. And like you said, sometimes my clients don't care, but I care. Yes. And I don't want them to be mad at me, if they're like, well, I wish my agent would have known that. But they do ask that a lot. And it doesn't matter if it's my city or a different city. We know where to get the information. And so we just walk them through that process.
I find it to be a phenomenal trait now that you have, as far as for me, and I've worked with you in the past, because you know how the way the city works, the city that you're the councilwoman in, you also can find out how it works in other cities as well. And I've seen you help people with zoning issues, whether it be HOAs, you know who to talk to very quickly and get things done, and you're a problem solver. So it's kind of cool that, when I found out you were going to be a councilwoman, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Perfect sense. Have you seen a lot of that, in your life as a real estate agent and also with being a councilwoman? Have you seen that help your career in real estate?
Absolutely. I think probably the number one thing is name recognition. So, and I think naturally, because I've just followed the things that feel right to me, that are genuinely feel right, I don't have an alternate agenda, then it just is seamlessly, they go hand in hand and it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of harmony there. So
I love that you have that harmony because you don't have any alternative agendas on that piece. And I think that's where people need to get really careful when they do these kind of things, because I know you've had opportunities that you've turned away because your fiduciary obligation was to that one sector at that time. When you put on your city planner or city councilwoman hat, you have that hat on. So I appreciate that. So Annette, you've started a company. Entrepreneur of a real estate company. Tell me a little bit what you guys are doing. A lot of cool programs you've built out. You've been building out systems. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So our company is called the Utah Experience, which that stands for Tux. Or acronym is Tux Real Estate.
I love a lot. It's really
cool. And we have a good vibe there with the branding. But it came from we want our clients to have basically a guaranteed good experience. And over the years and phone calls with people that I've known that have used someone else, and I get the phone call the day after that the sewer line is bad because they didn't know that they should get an inspection. I feel like way too many people get lucky in real estate.
True.
And I don't want that for my clients. And with what we've created at Tux Real Estate, we have a really comprehensive training program, and we'll require our agents to be mentored so that they aren't working alone. Because what I've seen, and I didn't work everywhere, but what I've seen is commonplace is here's your training program and they let you go and there's not any accountability. Not really any guarantee of actually getting help from a broker before you have a big problem. And then you're calling your broker when
more reactionary and you're trying to get proactive.
Right. So very hands-on, complete, online program. And we do have a cloud-based brokerage.
Oh, cool.
So that's available anywhere. And
you can just plug and play.
Exactly. And I think that's just how real estate is. So, and you've talked about it where you have a nice big office and you use it and you've grown and built it, but it doesn't get used 9 to 5 every day by your loan officers. They're out in the field.
Yep.
And that's how real estate is.
It is.
You need to be
100%.
out and talking.
You need to be out. I like the cloud-based. I like the accountability. I like the business development you focused on. And I like that you've worked at multiple brokerages and you've taken what's good nuggets from each of these brokerages to build what you have now. Right. So experience is everything. And that's one of the core values we like to talk about over here is when you have that experience and you have that mentor. And, and I've actually the last 3 or 4 years, I've been doing this a while now, but the last 3 or 4 years, I've leaned into having a mentor and my business is just, it's exploded, not just for money or getting deals or being successful as far as getting deals, but it's more of like internal development on how do I lead or how do I react to certain situations now? How am I proactively instead of reactively working because in real estate, a lot of times we're just reactive. So I like that you have a proactive program.
Well, it makes the agent have a better experience too, right? We want you to be having fun doing this, even though it's hard and stressful at the same time, but it's rewarding in many different ways. And so if you've prepared and you have some structure and checklists and somebody who's prodding you a little bit to say, hey, remember to do this. Because, And
I love that you can, be their mentor because you've been successful for a decade now doing real estate. You know how to help a lot of real estate agents now to be really involved in their communities because I would say no one's more involved than you are in your community. And you've seen success from that. And not just success as far as, getting business, but also being able to know the ins and outs of everything that's going on within that city. Like if I were to buy a house in your city, I'd feel very comfortable that you know everything of what's going on because of what you've done as a councilwoman, what you're just really involved in everything in the community. So what advice would you give some of these real estate agents that, may want to go that route so that they can be kind of the liaison or maybe I would say the mayor, right? Not necessarily literally, but know their city and get success in their city.
No, I love that question. Actually, Gary Vee talked about that, I think in 2018, 2019, and he did say, be the mayor of your city.
Yes.
But you can do it however you want. But first, I think, is go internal with yourself and what interests you already have. Like I mentioned before, we have an arts council in our city. If you're interested in that already, start there, right? If you just have a genuine interest in making the city better, then start listening to some of the council meetings. Go get to know the council members, talk to them, ask them some good questions, and be thoughtful about. Actually, that's what I think makes a good council member from my perspective is to be thoughtful about decisions. Not to go in with an agenda or to be polarized and saying, I'm not going to do this. I think it's kind of funny, but when you're in junior high and you're like, I'm going to get orange soda during at lunch, right? But do they really have that control, right? And so that's how I've approached my position with council is I'm learning and I love it. And I'm also getting to meet awesome people who aren't in real estate. And so it just puts me in a really good position to be the expert in real estate and to be there to learn about the city. And then it just opens up other doors. So And what I do right now, because I'm on my second term in council, I don't know that I want to run again right at this point. So I want to leave all the doors open. So when I'm talking to other people, like right now, we have delegate. Well, I'm a delegate, so I get to talk to other people about like who wants to be the county commissioner or the recorder and those kinds of things. So when I'm talking to other people in leadership positions that know a lot more than me, I ask them, what do you think that I should be looking into, right, over the next little while? Because I don't know what's next. And so that's what I would suggest is get involved and do what's genuine for yourself. Because I think when you are, you're going to be way more successful.
Yeah, I love that. I think if any real estate agent is listening to this and they want to level up, you're the definition of level up to me to get to the next level, because that's all you've been doing the last decade. You just level up and you figure it out. And now you have the playbook for success. I truly believe that. And if you want to have a good mentor, I think every single real estate agent should have a good mentor. I also think they should have accountability. And that's the one thing I love that your program has is accountability for them to be able to go out and get to the next level. So if you are an agent that's listening, Tux Real Estate here in Utah is the way to go. So, Annette, thanks so much. I appreciate you being on this, and you're phenomenal.
Thank you. And just, I don't know if we got it on there, but my website is tuxre.com. So tuxre.com.
And your handles on Insta, yes.
Instagram is tux_real estate. So, and we're pretty easy to reach. We're responsive.
Yes. I mean, Tux Real Estate's such a good brand that, yeah, it's going to be easy to find. Thank you.
Thank you.